of our students do have a lot of stress, and that's primarily because the rigor of the coursework that they take and the major preparation that they're pursuing requires a lot of their focus, a lot of their personal attention to their overall background, understanding that they have to be very mindful of how many hours they're working, how much time they're contributing towards their courses, the tutoring, towards their financial stressors that they may have, their financial needs on a day-to-day basis. In other words, are they eating properly? Are they maintaining themselves throughout the day and or throughout the week? Are they connecting with the professors? Are they connecting very well with their families at home? Because that's primarily the number one place that they end up either going home to, right? When they go home, that's their place of safety. And we hope that the students end up in a place where they can relax. Many times they may not be able to go home to a relaxing place.
So one of the major things that I see a lot of, not just MESA students, but I see it around family, stress, pressure. Sometimes they're first generation students, sometimes they're undocumented students. I also see, especially with the MESA students, it's very academically driven, it's very competitive. So what happens is that they don't want to speak up about, well, I'm having these issues, because then what ends up happening is, well, I'm not living up to the potential. How come everybody else is moving forward, but I'm kind of stuck? So that's a lot of what I'm seeing. Family, work, school, and a lot of social stress around romantic partners and just how to be social around not just this department, but in general. So.
I have a lot of financial stress. I recently just got into more debt, and so that debt is just accumulating, and it's just putting a big stressor onto my school life.
I am in a lucky position where I don't have to pay rent because currently I live with my parents. However, I don't ask for money in terms for gas, food, etc. That's not it. So, to an extent, yeah, I have financial pressure.
Due to those financial stressors, my entire family is also struggling with finances. So, just being at home, there's a lot of anxiety and stress just build up.
Because since I'm home and not like at a university away from home, I have constant favors. Like he's taking here and there as like an older brother.
I'm trying to keep up with passing grades, or even just exceeding well in grades in school. It's just really hard to balance.
If I'm stressed, that means I am at distress and my full attention isn't there. So it can definitely stir away from more progress in school.
And stress can be good, like to be better at your class. Like if it's causing you stress, you're constantly thinking about it, so that means you're more prepared for when you get to school.
How many students follow up with routine checkups?
It's rare. It does happen. Sometimes they'll call me. I know last year I had 2 or 3, but generally they're always welcome to come in. What's actually harder is when there's a referral, students don't want to actually take the step to come in. That's actually a more difficult situation that I see coming up.
Do you seek counseling?
No.
If no, why not?
Because it costs money and I don't have money right now, but I feel like if I did, I would consider it.
Have you considered the counseling on campus?
No.
And then may we ask for which reasons?
I didn't know we had counseling on campus.
I seek counseling in peers, but not professional counseling. I've never received any kind of professional counseling. I don't think I've ever wanted it.
the way I guess I was raised, it's hard to ask for help. And it's not that the school doesn't do a good job of knowing that there is counseling, because I know it and I've heard it several times. Just, I think me personally, I decided not to.
I have used some counseling for stress, but it still doesn't fully take away the stress.
Well, there's a lot. There is a lot, and a lot depends on the student's perception, and I think a lot of it could be start at home. If their parents are very connected with their kids, then they may have a very good open communication with them. Very openness, really, a good relationship is important to start at home. But oftentimes there are a lot of pressures that the parents put on the students, and so there is a level of the relationship where it either is going to be a very close relationship, or it's going to almost create a little bit of a non-connectedness with the family about what they're going through. So sometimes a student may not feel comfortable seeking resources like the mental health services on campus. And I think a lot of it is because they're not used to that. They're not used to being able to express themselves. They're not used to being able to explore a healthy mind. Or perhaps they're not used to seeking out support from friends. I think the pressures are a big factor for many students, and I wish that they would. We try to encourage, like for example, when I'm with my students, I try to encourage them and refer them to the mental health services on campus. I encourage them the building and bonding of student relationship, through the leadership, through the MESA program, because in MESA, we have the specific resources here for them to be able to do those things effectively.
I think there's still a lot of stigma around getting mental health services. I know for the Latino community, what's actually changed that is we're starting to see more clinicians like myself who are representing our communities. So that's taking away some of the stigma. Even when I went to grad school, in a field and in a cohort of 109 students, we had maybe 5 African American clinicians, and that was one male clinician as well. So it's a little bit of everything. There's still a lot of stigma, and there's still not a lot of representation